What's up, guys? I'm Laura J.
And I'm Mara.
And welcome to the Soul Sisters Podcast. As you know, we like to open each episode with a prayer, and it is Mara's turn today. So,
Lord, thank you for bringing us together for another week. Allow this episode to go smoothly. Put things in our heart to speak on. I want to personally thank you for everything that you've done for me thus far this week, and same for Lord, everything that you have planned for us, Lord. Continue taking care of us and guiding our lives. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
In Jesus' name. So, what's the haps? Well, first of all, how was your January? Because, we started a whole new month. So, we want to do a recap on last month and bring the new year in 2025. So, yeah.
January was long. It just felt really, really long to me, like 2 months. I think it's because it was like 5 weeks. Wasn't it 5 weeks in January?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It felt long. I can't really say that it was good or bad. There wasn't a lot that happened.
I think that January was a good start to the new year. It was like a lot of nothing and a lot of something happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Of course, the world is very chaotic right now, but as far as personally, what's been going on in my personal life, I got a new internship, so
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, January was cool. This week was cool. Life is decent. Life is peaceful. I don't have any complaints. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to this month?
February, I'm looking forward to just keeping up the same track and not messing up any of the blessings that the Lord has given me. In January, just keep developing and getting closer and closer to my career goals and my aspirations. Securing connections within my career so that I can have that advantage and step up, because they always say it's not what you know. So networking, Valentine's Day, and your birthday. Fair. I'm not gonna be with you, but it's gonna be her birthday, and I'll be celebrating for her. But how about you?
I am looking forward to being at peace. I am not working this month, so that really just takes a lot of stress away. Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day. It's one of my favorite holidays, and my birthday.
Her. Speaking of Valentine's Day, you guys know Valentine's Day is coming up, and the topic at discussion has been, do you expect your boyfriend or your partner in general to still ask you to be their Valentine before Valentine's Day? Even though y'all are already together, but do you still expect that? What you think?
Okay, I would say that if you are my boyfriend, if we're in a relationship, or I would say even a talking stage where it's exclusive, I don't expect you to ask me. That's a given. Like,
really?
Why would somebody else be my Valentine? Yes. I feel like if we just start talking and we haven't got to the point where we're exclusive, or, whatever else, we still could possibly be entertaining other people. We never had those conversations that we discussed in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, I think. If that hasn't happened yet, then I expect you to ask me, because how would I know? You know what I mean? Like, if we're just kind of doing us, I might have something else going on. You might have something else going on. There's no way that I know that you're my Valentine. But if you're my boyfriend, I know you're my Valentine. It would be cute. It's a cute gesture, but I do feel like
you're not tripping about it.
Yeah, like, it's not something that I like, oh, he has to ask me or I'm not his Valentine. Like, I feel like if it wasn't for like social media, that wouldn't be as normalized. I never heard, of course I was younger, like before I got like on social media more, but like I never heard about that, like people specifically asking, unless, like I said, y'all are not dating. So yeah.
Me personally, I love the dramatics. I still want you to ask me to be your Valentine's Day, your Valentine's Day, to be your Valentine's, just because, Lord, I can't talk. Just because, we know that we're together and I'm your Valentine, but I still like, the romantic gestures and so on and so forth. Like, I won't be mad. I might be a little bit annoyed if you don't ask me to be your Valentine. But, it's not something that is required. Like, I'm going to be on your ass if you don't do it. But just think it's cute. And
Yeah.
like, you should still want to be romantic and have fun and just do cute little romantic stuff, like cheesy stuff throughout your relationship. Regardless, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that
I'm fine.
would that be considered like would that be considered an act of service?
What?
Like the love languages, like would that be considered like
Like asking someone to be your Valentine?
yeah, like what love language would that fall under? Because I
mean, if you're thinking of just the 5 regular, like physical touch, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation.
or would that be like gift giving? Because isn't that
Gift
one
giving.
too? Because you don't necessarily have to get gifts. Okay, this is another thing. This is what I be thinking about when I see people do like they ask the person out to be their Valentine. It's like a lot of times they'll have gifts like teddy bears, flowers, candy, and then in my head it's like, so what do you give them for Valentine's Day? Or is that the gift that they get and they just don't get another one on Valentine's Day? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's like the ideal gift that's what I like flowers. I love flowers. Like that. I feel like that's gonna be like the number one thing that if you know me, you're gonna get me. And then it's like chocolates, like it's cute for the aesthetic. I'm not pressed to eat them, but like they're then a teddy bear. Like that's what's ideal, unless you're like buying them jewelry or something like that, which can get expensive. So everybody's not doing that. So I feel like if you get those gifts when you ask them to be your Valentine, do you also buy Valentine's Day gifts, or is that like the gift they're getting?
I don't know. I can't even lie. Like, this year's gonna be my first real Valentine. So, like, I've never done all this stuff before. So, I don't have a straight answer for that. I don't really know. But
What do you think?
What do you mean? Like, do you still, like, if they ask you to be your Valentine's before, do you still get gifts?
Like, if you were asked, like, will you be my Valentine, and they come with a teddy bear, roses, chocolates, you know, all the stuff, like, would you still expect a gift for Valentine's Day? And if so, what?
I would say, like, maybe just do half and half. Like, if you ask me to be your Valentine, then you do, like, you don't know, like a cute little note or a poster board, or, you know, even if you just ask me, maybe you'll do a teddy bear and some chocolates that time. And then when Valentine's Day comes up, you give me flowers and take me on a date.
Okay.
Like,
I see that.
something like that.
I think that's cute. Okay. I think for me, it's like, I don't know. Never mind. Because I can't say that I only really expect flowers and then be like, I want stuff both times. But I guess I feel like okay, don't get me wrong. I think it is very cute to ask somebody to be your Valentine. I'm not saying that I don't think that. I'm just saying that I don't think it's required. But if somebody asks me that and they come, like, I feel like I would prefer when you ask me, it be less like gifty than actual Valentine. Because I feel like on actual Valentine's Day, that's when I want gifts. You know?
That makes sense.
Unless you just got it like that, you can do both and like go up. But if it's like one or the other, I would prefer to actually have like the flowers and stuff on the actual day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you do expect to be asked every year.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like gifts. Like, you give me gifts when you ask.
So what do you expect?
I mean,
Like, would you be mad if somebody texted, if like your boyfriend texted you and said, "Will you be my Valentine?"
yes.
That's real.
He needs to, you know, we see each other every day. He needs to ask me in person, at least ask me. But like, he doesn't have to do like a grand gesture every time. Like, you could just, you know, just make just something thoughtful, like shows that, you know, you're being thoughtful and romantic and at least thinking about trying to, you know, make it pretty and romantic for me. Like, it doesn't have to be grand. And like both times, like, you ask me to be a Valentine and then we do something grand on Valentine's Day. But
I think that conversation, I know I'm jumping around, but that really does kind of play into like your love language, because some people, like, they like the gift receiving, like they expect that and they really like that, so they're gonna expect for you to ask them to be your Valentine with gifts, and then gifts on Valentine's Day. And that's something that's like that other people they might like just the word, like you might write them a letter and ask them. Or I feel like it's a whole nother conversation, but I feel like I would prefer to not be asked over being asked like just through text, because it's like, if you ask me through text, that means you realize that asking me is something that you should do, but you didn't put any effort into it. So it's like, if you want to ask me, or if it's you have to be my man. What I'm saying is, if you're not my man, then you need to ask me. Otherwise, please don't expect for me to be your Valentine.
So you're saying, like, if y'all haven't made it official, like, y'all already know, well, y'all don't already know that y'all are locked in, that he needs to ask to be your Valentine. So if y'all are already locked in, you don't care for the asking.
It's not an expectation. I'm not gonna say I don't care, because I'm all for romance. Like, I think that I would appreciate that, but I'm not like I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be like, I don't even necessarily expect it. Like, if it happened, it's like, oh wow, it caught me by surprise, basically. If we're already together, we already know what we're on. It's like, you know, mm-hmm. I'm not. But if we're in a situation where it's like, I could be talking to other people and you could be talking to other people, you don't know if somebody else is gonna ask me, or I don't know if you've already planned to go with somebody else. So I think that at that point you need to actually ask.
That's real. So you mentioned something about love languages. What is your love language and why?
Okay, I feel like I don't really know, because I really can dibble and dabble in all of them. I feel like I am a gift giver. I like to see other people happy, like when it comes to birthdays and stuff like that. Like, I really enjoy doing that for people. I like surprising people. As far as like on the receiving end, what's yours?
You don't have like a specific, like, you love when someone does this for you, or you love when, like, no, you don't have a specific one right now. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say quality time. Like, I love spending time with the people I love, mm-hmm. because I don't know, I just do. Like, we can just be sitting in each other's face and not even talking or doing nothing for real. Like, I just love being in their presence, and like, it just makes me happy. It makes me feel warm inside. I like doing activities.
What are the love languages? Because let me see.
I could tell you. It's words of affirmation, acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, and quality time.
See, what I've noticed about myself recently is I'm not like as pressed for quality time as I used to be. I feel like my previous relationship was very codependent, so we were always together, and that was like an expectation. Like, we used to have conversations about, we lived together for most of our relationship, so we would have conversations. So we get into arguments, and the plan would be to live separately, and that would drive me nuts. Like, why don't you want to live with me? Why would we? That would be like the solution sometimes, because we argued and bickered, like whatever. But now, like, I've been living by myself for like a year now, and I've noticed, like, when I'm in situations, I do not be pressed to see the person. Like, I'm not gonna say, okay, it's kind of like here and there, because sometimes, like, I've noticed, like, there will be situations where like a person might want to see me, like either come to me or I go to them or whatever, and I don't really feel like it. Like, I don't feel like doing it. Like, I don't know, it's not like I don't like them or anything like that, but I can just say that. So I don't think it's quality time, but I do enjoy it when it's the time for it. When I'm in the mood for it, I do enjoy it, but I can't really say it's my love language. And then as far as like gift receiving, I think anybody likes gifts. Like, I'm
not a big gift person myself. Like, honestly, like, giving and receiving, I've never been a really big gift person. Like, yeah, I like gifts, but that's not the way to my heart.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Like, I wouldn't say that's the way to my heart, but I wouldn't say I don't like getting gifts. Like, of course, I like getting stuff, but I'm not like, oh, he bought me that. I would say maybe like romantic gestures, period. Like, I don't know if that goes, maybe it's acts of service. Mm-hmm. I think maybe that's what it is, because I feel like flowers and stuff like that, like, I like a traditional man. So I feel like somebody who like does stuff like buys you flowers and just thinks about you and asks you like, have you ate, are you hungry, like, so I think, yeah, it's acts of service. There we go. I knew I would get to it.
I think a relationship obviously takes like all 5
love
languages, not just one over the other. But you know, you have your preferences. Let us know down below in the comments what your preference, like, what is your love language and why. And there's also too, like you said, like, in terms of giving love, you like to do gifts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then like in terms of receiving love, like, you like acts of service.
Yeah.
So let us know down below how you like to receive love and how you like to give love.
Are yours the same? Is it quality time for both?
Yeah, I would say so, because I just love spending time. Now, don't get me wrong, I do get like drained and I don't want to be around people all the time, but like with the people I love, I do love spending time with them, and that's like how I show love as well, like planning stuff and like oh, let's do this, this, and this, or we should do this together. And
Yeah,
that's
I like
how
that.
I feel.
I like that too.
Yeah.
But I feel like, okay, when I'm thinking love language, I'm thinking that's that thing that I like adore. Like the other love languages, I fuck with them too. But it's like, what did I say mine is?
Acts of service.
I feel like acts of service, that's my one. But quality time, like it'd be cool, like you know. So we kind of like,
it's not one over the other. Well, it is.
it's
but
like acts of service is over the other, but the other ones I expect and I like them too, but they're just not my number one. So do you feel like Valentine's Day is a holiday for men to spoil women? Do you feel like you should spoil each other?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like, so just going back to the conversation, like do you expect your boyfriend to ask you, like would you ask your boyfriend? Just depending on how you answer the first question.
Would I ask my boyfriend personally, me personally? No. Just because I'm a traditional person, I feel like that's like getting down on one knee and asking him to be my husband, like, and proposing to him. But as far as like doing things for him and getting him things for Valentine's Day, I'm not closed off to that at all. Men deserve gifts too. Men deserve their flowers before they're dead. Well, some of them. All no. Some of them. Most of y'all niggas, anyways. Yeah, most of y'all niggas can choke. But anyways, the good ones though, they deserve their flowers too. They deserve a little, you know, to be shown that. Because I have, like, people have the idea for whatever reason in relationships that the men should always just give to the women, and the women should just sit here and receive. Now, I'm all for the women in relationships receiving their flowers and, you know, putting their feet up and just receiving the love that they deserve. However, I do feel like if you're in a relationship with a good man who loves you and who is actively trying and chooses you every day and does beyond the bare minimum, that you should also do for him. So going back to Valentine's Day, I'm not opposed to the idea of getting gifts or, you know, showing romantic gestures for my man on Valentine's Day. What do you think?
I've been thinking about this a lot lately, just like different things I've seen online, but I kind of do feel like Valentine's Day is one of those, like, I don't want to say 50-50, but it's kind of one of those 50-50 holidays, like Christmas, like you both get each other gifts. Valentine's Day is a day of love. Like, it's not your birthday or my birthday or Mother's Day or Father's Day. Like, it's a day of love. So if you're the person that I love, you love me and I love you, we should do for each other.
Exactly. What do you buy for men? Like, it's kind of easier to buy for men. I mean, it's kind of easier to buy for women on occasions than it is for men, because they're not really like,
I feel like with them, like the gifts are not as simplistic. Like for us, we can, Valentine's Day, you can easily buy a woman flowers and she would appreciate that. I'm not saying like men wouldn't appreciate flowers, but they wouldn't. Like they'll take them, but it's not like, oh, I want some flowers.
Yeah,
like, I could sit here and be like, I want some flowers. Like I actually really like flowers. So it's like when you kind of think of, not saying that everything has to be equal, but if you're kind of trying to think of a gift that's equal to flowers, it's like, what do you get?
Yeah.
So that kind of leaves you in a position where you might be buying something that's more expensive.
A lot of the rap girlies are getting pregnant for whatever reason, okay? And the only ones staying strong for real that I see are Meg and Glorilla. Everybody else is getting pregnant.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were pregnant. I'm about to say, when did that happen?
Everybody except for them in the industry are pregnant. But I know y'all have seen the whole ordeal, or if you haven't, with Coi Trippie and Trippie Redd. So apparently, I don't know if they used to go together before this, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, they used to go together and then they broke up and then they got back together and then he got her pregnant. Anyways, so they got back together and now she's pregnant, and news came out while she's pregnant with no ring that he cheated on her. Now I'm a but yeah, of course we're speaking from like the black community and, you know, black entertainment because we're black women. But how do we feel about women getting pregnant without serious commitment or a ring?
What's serious commitment if not a ring?
That's real. Maybe like engagement.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's a ring, but that's
that's real.
Okay, I feel like it's not ideal. I don't know I don't think I know anybody who like their plan is to get pregnant before they get married. But I wouldn't say there's a lot of people that I know that also take preventative measures for that to not happen. I would say for me personally, that's something that I really, 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 really want for myself. Okay, as far as being engaged, I could definitely see myself like being more willing to get pregnant or have somebody's child before I marry. But I feel like at that point you would be having conversations about having kids. So it's like, I don't really see that happening like accidentally. So why not just go ahead and get married and then, you know?
What do you feel like it does for, one, the community, and two, families, but more importantly, the children that grow up in those broken homes?
Okay. I'm gonna first speak from like, because we just started with Coi Trippie. Like, I think that when it comes to like the entertainment industry, or especially thinking about like rappers, or is Trippie Redd considered a rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in that like situation, regardless if they're married or not, like 9 out of 10 they're gonna get cheated on. Like things like that are gonna happen. Not saying that is right, but I think it's just a reality. Like Cardi B, for example, like how many times she's been cheated on? She's married with 3 kids. Like, it's kind of like in situations like that, I'm not gonna say that it really matters too much or will make that much of a difference. It also kind of depends on the mentality that the man has. I would say the woman too, because just because he marries you doesn't mean that he has the intention of being with you forever. Like, divorce is a real thing. Like I said, men can still cheat. Women can still cheat. Anybody can still cheat in a relationship. Now, having the ring, there is more security because you can't just up and break up with somebody. Like, you could, but legally you are still going to be binded to that person. Yeah. I can speak from personal experience. So my mother was not married to my dad. I think that affected me a lot because I didn't have really my dad in my life anyway, like outside of the marriage or not. So I grew up with my mother. My mom did a great job, like, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think my life would be different if I did grow up with a father figure in the house. So yeah, so I feel like, you know, I'm all like pro-choice when you get pregnant, but I think that is something to consider, like how it will affect your child. And if that's something that you're okay with, is the father still going to be present if y'all are not together? Or even if y'all are together, like when it's going on, like you have to think about those things. Like, how is this going to work if we break up? Is he still going to be present? Is he still going to be present in my child's life even if we're not together? Because that's very common in the Black community. When the couple breaks up, the father does not show any affection, is not there for the child anymore. So I think ideally, like, I don't know, because it's such a hard, like, this type of conversation, I feel like this day and age in our generation, a ring does not mean as much as it used to. Like, divorce is very common and cheating is so common. Like, these things are almost normalized that it's not going to make the biggest difference. But for me, I want to be married. I still expect the ring. I still expect to be married. I want to grow up in I want my kids to grow up in a 2-parent household.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I have like a couple points to hit, but hopefully I can remember them all. Oh yeah, so for one, I saw this one thing that was like, we need to marry men who want to be a husband and a father, not men that want to have a wife and kids. One. And two, you said something about preventative measures, and yeah, not gonna lie, sex is natural. Like, everybody does it, even if we're not supposed to be doing it. Like, it's just human nature. Like, we have those type of thoughts, and some people act on those thoughts, right? So it's like, okay, yes, it's human nature, but we know the consequences that come with it. We as adults, assuming that our audience is mostly adults, if you're teenagers, please just wait. Please, please. But assuming that our audience is adults, we need to be more smart about the measures that we take. Because, no offense to Coi Trippie, but like, then we can end up in situations like that. Like, are people not really thinking about that? And I understand that marriage is not something that everybody wants, but I don't understand how people think that kids are less of a commitment than marriage. Like, kids are lifelong. And unfortunately, this falls on the women for having the children, even though it takes two to tango. Like, it's not just the women. Anytime, like even before getting pregnant, even when you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a long time and it takes you to this point to finally leave, you see the signs before it took you to that point to leave. And sometimes having a child with somebody and like them not taking care of the child and them not being a good father or a good partner after that, or them not being there showing up for you during postpartum, is the point where you leave.
I feel like I can agree with that to a certain extent, because I feel like that's not always the case. Like, I feel like there are some men out there that will be like the perfect man until you get pregnant, or like they will put on that persona until you're pregnant, and now it's like they turn into a whole different person throughout your pregnancy. You're finding out about this, that, and the third, when that's not what you were presented with before you got pregnant. Now, in situations like that, I feel like that's where it's kind of more important to wait until marriage. But then it's also the conversation of when are you getting married, because you could marry somebody after 2 years and then I feel like 2 years you probably know that person at that point, but
after like 6 months or something,
like if you get married and that person could only put on that persona for 6 months, and then month 7, 8 you're pregnant and they're who they really are. Like,
okay, so how do you feel about, because I see sometimes people, they do the deed, they get pregnant, and then since they got pregnant they get married.
I was gonna ask you about that.
So like, what do you think about that?
I feel like if that is somebody that you see yourself marrying, like if that was something that you had in your mind before you got pregnant, like y'all intended on marrying each other eventually, then that makes sense. I mean, you were going to do it eventually. They kind of sped the process up, but that was something you were already going to do. Now, if y'all like one night stand vows, or y'all only been dealing with each other for a couple of months and you're just doing that to be traditional or to do the right thing, I wouldn't do it, because I feel like that just sets you up to potentially have an unhappy marriage. And then I feel like that could also be detrimental to the child. Like, just because y'all are in a 2-parent household doesn't mean it's going to be a healthy, happy environment.
Clock it. I do feel like baby mama culture is very heavily, is promoted the word? Very heavily, like, we see it a lot. I'll say promoted for lack of better words. It's very heavily promoted. We're always seeing somebody, like a rapper's baby mama, becoming famous, or, like people in the industry, in entertainment, just getting pregnant.
I feel like I hate it. Like, I don't like the fact that it's normalized. I think that seeing it in real life and on social media is why I think the way that I think now, and why I don't want to have nobody's baby unless I'm married. Even though there were things I spoke about before about how having a ring doesn't just guarantee happiness or a successful marriage and a happy family, but I feel like I'm willing to take that risk just because I don't want to be just a baby mom. A lot of factors that play into that, and I'm not judging nobody for their situation and how you choose and have chose to move with your life. But me personally, I do not want to I don't want to be somebody's girlfriend having their baby. I just don't. And I don't like the fact that it's so normal, and like we spoke about before, most of the responsibility is gonna fall on the woman. That's not fair to me. You got me pregnant and then you get to go live your best life and do whatever you want to do, and I'm pregnant. And I don't think nowadays that, I feel like before, maybe I'm just talking, a lot of men didn't really want women with kids. I don't think that is even a thing anymore.
Yeah, because now it's like more normal to meet somebody with kids than it is to meet somebody without.
So, but I think it sucks. And I think that, like I said, like it's so normalized now that like younger girls get pregnant. And I'm not saying that you should have an abortion. I'm not promoting any of these things, but I'm saying that I feel like that is a consideration that young females have when they get pregnant, that they see other women do it, and even by themselves, like they see them do it, and there's so many baby mamas out here that are making it work, and so it's kind of like, okay, well, I can do it too. I don't think that should be like,
thinking of like the future of the children that these people bring into the world. I just don't think that it's fair to put them through that, because even like going back what I said with like the entertainment industry, and like even if you're financially stable enough to have children and not be in the household but still, provide for them financially, it's just not enough, because children need emotional support and psychological support, and the families, it really starts in the home. This is truly how I feel. It really starts in the home. Like the shaping of how somebody thinks and how they move and their values and their morals, it starts in the home. And like, if they don't see both of their parents putting in like the work to show like, this is what love is and this is what love isn't, and like, you should accept this from other people, you shouldn't accept this from other people.
I think we kind of joke about like daddy issues and that sort of thing, but that's very real.
Very.
If you never saw your dad love your mother, or you never had your a love from like a male figure, whatever, like that's gonna affect you when you are ready to be in a relationship with a man. Like, you don't know what to expect. You probably put it with things that you shouldn't. You don't really know what romance is, or how you're supposed to be treated, or how conversations are supposed to be resolved, and you don't know these things until you get out there and you start dating for yourself. And it's probably going to take you about 10 times longer to figure it out. You're probably going to go through way more BS trying to figure it out versus already knowing. Your standards are probably higher if you did grow up in a household, a two-parent household, healthy two-parent household, than if you didn't. That's just real.
Yeah. And even speaking on like the male perspective, like with males who grew up with only women in their life, then they grow up to have this like deep resentment for women and women who can do for themselves, because they grew up and watched a woman do it all by themselves and like provide for them solely. So now they're going out expecting other women to do that for them, and when they don't, then like,
and then they don't know how to treat a woman. Like, they don't know. And then like a woman, she might have this expectation and they're wondering why they can't get it right, because they never saw their father do that for their mother. Like, it does go hand in hand.
Just basically, like I was saying, for the daughter needs her father. What do you think about abstaining from sex before marriage?
Okay, I genuinely think that is the perfect decision. That is like the most phenomenal thing that you could do. Genuinely, I feel like that. It's not the case for a lot of people. I don't think it's ever too late to decide to be abstinent, or to, what's the word? Not abstinent.
I know what you're doing. Celibate.
You can always choose to be celibate. God forgives you for any of your sins. So yeah, you can be a reborn again virgin. I think it's just ideal. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just the ideal. If you haven't had sex, wait to have sex. You can have it your whole life after you're married. I think you should wait to have sex. I mean, there's a conversation of thinking about soul ties and just bonds. Like, you're giving your body to somebody. You're gonna feel some sort of emotional attachment to the person.
What are reasons you have wasted someone's time rather than being straightforward with them?
Confusion. I have been in a state of confusion. Like, I might like this person, I might really be into this person, but I'm confused because I also like somebody else, or I'm not healed fully and I want to be able to pour into this person the way they're pouring into me. So it's like, I'm kind of waiting for that period where I'm over somebody else I used to deal with, or I'm ready to fully commit. So I don't want to let this person go. But in doing that, I am wasting their time, because what if I never get to that point? Or what if I decide that, it's like, you can be confused because you don't know if you really just don't like this person, or if you're just not ready. Okay, when do you get the hint the relationship is never going to happen, or the other person isn't interested?
I feel like in a situation like that, the signs are definitely showing. Like, if you feel like you're giving more than they're giving, sign number one. If you feel like you have to ask, okay, God is not the author of confusion. So if you're confused in that relationship, then that's their answer. That's their answer, because it's kind of obvious. Like, they're not texting back as much, or they're showing signs themselves. They're not texting back as much, or they're being kind of standoffish, or just things of that nature, things of that sort.
It's very obvious. It's very obvious when a man is not interested in you, because a man that's interested in you, that actually wants you, is going to do the most. A man who doesn't care, like I say, he's going to be there when it's like sexual time or booty call hours. He's not going to talk to you every day. He's not going to give your mind time to wonder. He's gonna make sure you know that he wants you. Like, that's gonna be enforced.
When you're in a relationship or you're talking to somebody, do you need to talk to them every day?
I feel like like that question is crazy to me. Like, yes.
Even if it's just a little check-in, like, I'm gonna be busy doing this all day, so I'm not really gonna be able to talk to you. That's different. But if you just go all day without talking to me,
just crickets. Like, I haven't heard. I don't know what you got. I don't even know if you're okay. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, it could be for security purposes. Like, I don't know what's going on with you. I expect to hear from the person I am dealing with every single day, even in a talking stage. If you are just starting to talk to me and you can go a day or two without talking to me, you're not really trying to pursue me.
Yeah, right. We don't gotta talk all day, but like, yes, you need to talk to me every day.
Every day, like, that's crazy. So to conclude, we are gonna go ahead and do our affirmations.
So I actually got this affirmation from church on Sunday. He said that worry is a mental destruction. He said that worry is a mental weapon of destruction. Clock that T.
This is for you, whoever you are, and you. You are worthy of resting, relaxing, and dreaming. Your good dreams will become a reality.
Clock that T. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. We appreciate y'all and we love y'all so much. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, all that good stuff. Follow our social media pages, Solstice is the Pies, on Instagram and TikTok. Let us know your commentary about our commentary. What do you think of this video? Also, when you go follow us, make sure you tell us, what do you want to hear from us? What do you want to know? Comment that down below. Yeah.
Or DM us.
We love y'all and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.